global warming doesn't just stop on a dime. No. If people everywhere stop burning fossil fuels tomorrow, stored heat would still continue to warm the atmosphere. Now picture how a radiator heats a home. Water is heated in a boiler, and the hot water circulates around the pipes and radiators in a house. The radiators, well, they warm up and heat the air in the room. It's like a heat exchanger. Even after the boiler's turned off, this happens. The already heated water is still circulating through the system, heating the house. The radiators are, in fact, cooling down. But their stored heat is still warming the air in the room. Now, this is known as committed warming. Earth similarly has ways of storing and releasing this heat. Emerging research is refining scientists' understanding of how Earth's committed warming will affect the climate. Where we once thought it would take around 40 odd years, or longer, for global surface air temperatures to peak. Once and if humans stopped heating up the planet by being a fool that they are. Research now suggests temperatures could, well, peak in closer to only 10 years. And yes, that is good news, but it's not the end of it, no. But that doesn't even, well, what it doesn't mean is that the planet will all of a sudden return to its pre-industrial climate. No, it doesn't, not at all. Although we avoid disruptive effects such as sea level rise. Now, thinking about our radiator analogy, increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere keep the boiler on. Yes. We'll carry on heating up the seas and atmosphere. And the soil, the land, the rock will all be heated up as well. Now, heat accumulates and is stored, quite frankly, mostly in the oceans, which take on the role as radiators. The heat is distributed around the world through weather and oceanic currents. The wind as well. The Gulf Stream even. Well, the current understanding is that all of the additional heating to the planet caused by humans, if it was eliminated, a plausible outcome is that the Earth would reach a global surface air temperature peak closer to 10 years other than 40. And yes, it is good news. The concept of instantly cutting off human-caused heating is, well, also idealised and entirely unrealistic. No one's paying any attention. I wonder if they even actually care. Now, doing that would involve much more than just ending fossil fuel use, including widespread changes to agriculture. And it only helps illustrate how parts of the climate might behave. Even if the air temperature were to peak and stabilise, committed ice melting, committed sea level rise, and numerous other land and biological trends would continue to evolve from the accumulated heat. Some of these could, in fact, cause a release of carbon dioxide and methane, especially from the Arctic and other high-latitude reservoirs that are currently frozen. Now, oceans will continue to store heat and exchange it with the atmosphere, even if emissions, even if they're stopped. Well, the excess heat that has been accumulating in the ocean since pre-industrial times would influence the climate for, it's thought to be at least another 100 years or more. Now, because of the ocean is dynamic, it has currents, and it will not simply just diffuse its excess heat, back into the atmosphere. There will be, ups and there will be downs as the temperature adjusts. The possibility that policy intervention might have measurable impacts in around 10 years rather than several decades could motivate more aggressive efforts to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Removal of CO2 from the atmosphere would be a start, if it's possible. Now, it would be very satisfying to see policy interventions having, present rather than notable future benefits. They always seem to say in 2050. It's all going to happen in 2050, apparently. It's not soon enough. We need to be doing something now. Today. But, unfortunately, today countries aren't anywhere close to finding their fossil fuel, fetish. And getting rid of it, no. It's not going to end anytime soon. There's too much money. And that's all they care about. Instead, all of the evidence, it points to humanity experiencing rapid global warming in the coming decades. The less carbon dioxide humans release, the better off humanity will be. Committed warming and human behaviour points to, it points to need to accelerate efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to adapt to this warming planet. Well, we've got to do it now, rather than simply talking about it. How the Greta Thunberg goes, she goes, yap, 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 yap. Or blah, 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 blah. That's what she reckons. And she's right. We just hear the lip service from these governments. Not decisive action. No. Well, it is a tipping point. So, rather than simply talking about it, we need to do something now. You can't get away from it, no. What do you think? Please leave it in the comments down below. And please, please, please just boot that whole like button, will you? And maybe like and subscribe even. Well, it's a young channel. Could do with your help. So, ta-ta.